Hi Taurus, happy damn new year to ya. I truly hope you had a wonderful holiday season. Here we are, right? This is it. This is the big one. This is the 2025. So welcome to your 2025 AstroTarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. So I just want to say thank you so much. I told you I would be bringing certain things back and I would be bringing a whole bunch of new things and replacing things. Stick with me because it's going to be an interesting and bumpy ride over the next 3 months as I shift and change everything yet again. All right, so with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. I had so many emails, so many messages, so many DMs of people saying, Raf, I love you, you've ruined it all, what are you doing, where are you, there's no content, and you know what? It's just been a really interesting ride, and you guys know me, I'm an Aquarius, right? I'm a bit of a mad scientist, so I need to be able to explore, I need to be able to to shift and change and to grow, to keep you guys on your toes as well. Anyway, with that said, let's get into it. So on the 2nd of January, so these are slightly late, I know, but hey, what are you gonna do? On the 2nd/3rd of January, we've got the Mars opposing Pluto, right? So Mars retrograde at the tail, or should I say the beginning part of Leo. And then we've got Pluto at the beginning end of Aquarius, right? Or should I say at the very start of Aquarius. Now, this is across your 4th house, 10th house axis. This is your legacy out in the world and your foundation axis, right? This could be a power struggle of some sort that could emerge in your home or your family or your living situation, potentially stirring up sort of deep-rooted issues. It might involve a parent or an authority figure being at odds with your vision of personal freedom in some way, like someone's trying to rain on your parade in some regard, or, well, that's not how we've always done it, or that's not how I've always done it. Okay, that's nice for you, but this is how I'm doing it, right? This is one of the things that I've always tried to get across to my parents when they tried to, I don't have kids, but when I see them giving my siblings a hard time about how they're raising their children or whatever, I always say to them, listen, you had your chance to raise your kids. Step back and mind your business, right? Yes, give advice, but leave it at that. Mars, obviously with the Mars retrograde here, you're feeling more protective of your inner sanctum, right? Of your inner sanctuary, your home, your family, your property, your personal living space. And then with Pluto in the 10th house, right? And obviously the 4th house is your deep emotional energies as well. So you could be feeling that much more sort of tense. Remember, Mars doesn't like to go retrograde. Pluto's intense energy in your 10th house of career could amplify a sense of pressure to live up to others' expectations or maybe even societal standards. You might say to yourself, actually, you know what? Am I doing this for me, or am I doing this because it's expected of me in some way? And then you start to sort of undo that. The tension could highlight some kind of long-standing imbalance between your private world and maybe even your public responsibilities. A physical outlet like decluttering the home, right, could really help at this time. Grounding exercises could really help. But the resolution was really going to come here from addressing emotional or potentially even spiritual wounds. Since Pluto is involved, an old toxic pattern within family dynamics or your work-life balance might finally reach a breaking point here. It could also be that an influential mentor or authority figure could push you to see things differently, maybe triggering some kind of frustration, but also bringing a real profound sense of clarity as well. Whatever arises, Do not underestimate the importance of this moment, right? It's a time for you to redefine your boundaries and reclaim your peace as well, Taurus, right? Which, as we know, is, well, Rafi knows, I learnt the hard way. I dated a Taurus. It was, and I always tell this story, but he was such a wonderful man. And I was young and still quite theatrical and dramatic at the time. And I remember him being like, I don't know, Raf, it's just a bit too much for me. And I was like, I was so gutted. Anyway, you got the Five of Wands. That's the friction and the drama that will ensue with this transit. There's no getting around it, right? And you've got the Three of Pentacles. What you want to collaborate on and what traditions from your life, your heritage, your family, your foundation, your roots, whichever ones actually support you in having the life that you envision for yourself, keep them. It's not that you have to get rid of everything. It's just to say you don't have to live your life by somebody else's choices or definition anymore. And truthfully speaking, you're the only one that can create that sense of freedom. And that's what Pluto is trying to show you, right? Pluto in the 10th house. You're going to have to free yourself from other people's expectations or, even desires in order for you to say, okay, what do I want from my career so that I can understand what my legacy should actually be? And then you've got the Ten of Wands. This is about you going through the process of unlearning everything that you've been told that you should be. All right? Love this for you. Love this for you. Now, on the 3rd of January, Venus is going to enter the sign of Pisces, which means she's coming into your, let me move that there, she's coming into your 11th house, right? Venus is a sweetener. Venus rules you, and she also rules your 6th house, which is your physical health and vitality. Your first house is you, your identity, your body, your look, your image. Venus is your ruler, so her transits are always going to resonate with you that much more deeply. As she's moving into Pisces, her sign of exaltation, in your 11th house, your friendships, goals, and the wider world. She brings a sweetness to your social interactions. She inspires hope for your future aspirations, visions, goals, and dreams. You might even find yourself reconnecting with old friends or revisiting a goal that you once abandoned. Or maybe the goals that you have for your future get a zhuzh up and you say, right, actually, no, I still want to do that. And here's how I'm going to make it happen. You start to create a path of ease for yourself rather than just hard work. A past collaboration or group project might resurface for you at this time, could help you mend fences or make progress where things have been left undone. Venus also rules your 6th house of health and routine, so this transit might encourage you to adopt habits that bring you pleasure and wellness. It may be mindful you to be careful with overindulging in escapism, bad habits disguised as comfort, right? It's easily done whenever Venus moves through, Venus is indicating your 6th house and your 1st house. She's in her sign of exaltation, so just be careful with the overindulgence. I mean, most people tend to be quite virtuous in January anyway, so there's that. The 11th house is a house of blessings. It's a house of gains. Something that you've worked for in the past, potentially comes back to you. Especially now, what's really nice about this is, remember, I will say, Venus is going to go retrograde later this year. All right, in the month of March, Venus, on the 2nd of March, Venus starts her retrograde. So she is slowing down at this moment in time, not sort of in shadow as yet, but she is slowing down. So just keep that in mind, whether it's a dream being reignited or maybe even being healed in some way. This is a gentle and potentially really nice, sweet time to embrace what feels good for your soul. So I'm totally here for that. For this, you have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh yeah, right? This is great because the 11th house is the gains or the money or the resources from your work, your career. Now you've got this with the 4 of Cups, okay? And you've got the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to say this, Taurus, and I don't want to come across as callous, and I know obviously money doesn't solve all problems, etc. This month, especially while Venus moves through that 11th house, I want you to be really hot on your gratitude practice. That Four of Cups surrounded by the Page and the Ten of Pentacles, there could be a little bit of what, you know, and it might be that somebody checks you on this as well. It could be a friend that says to you, hey, hang on a sec, you know, you're living a life that most people would die for. You know, start being a bit more grateful for what you have. It's almost like there's a part of you that maybe refuses to, or it's like you don't acknowledge something that actually, you know, potentially, obviously Venus is going to meet Saturn over the course of this month. So that could be maybe where it comes up. But there's an element to this that's saying, remember to be grateful for what you have. Because there are things that you are experiencing and enjoying at this moment in time that you're taking for granted and that other people, quite frankly, would literally kill for. So, you know, get it together, Taurus, in terms of your gratitude. Now, a couple of things I want to mention. Your year ahead AstroTarot scopes are up and out there for your purchasing pleasure. There's a link in the description box below. As if that wasn't enough, on the 8th of January, circa the 8th of January, I'm releasing a special amount of slots to work with me. It's a 2.5 to 3 hour session where we are literally going to plan out your entire year, right? So there's going to be details and stuff. You'll be seeing it pop up. I'm giving you the heads up now because there are only 15 spaces for this and they tend to go really, really fast. So if you want one of these, stay tuned because it is coming. And also, just to mention, as we get closer to the end of the month, I will be bringing back the Work With Me for 3 months. It's the last one was hugely popular. I'm so very grateful. They were an incredible bunch of people and there were only 10 spaces for that. So if you want to work with me in either one of these capacities, I won't be doing any other one-to-one sessions now, probably until April. So if you want it, all right, stay tuned. They're going to be coming on all of my socials and obviously the YouTube community tab as well. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. The other thing that I want to mention about this Venus transit, the money could be good. It could be flowing. There might even be a moment where you're like, okay, well, you know, the money's flowing now, but what do I do with it? It may be the thing that you're sort of not grateful for is that you're making all of this money, but you're working so much, right? That you're so busy that you don't really have a chance to spend or to enjoy it at this moment in time. That's a good thing. Save it for later. All right. So as we come into the 6th of the month, that Mars retrograde is now going to move back into the sign of Cancer. Now, this is a pretty big deal. Mars re-entering your 3rd house, because remember, Mars doesn't go retrograde. It's like once every 2 years it goes retro. And on top of that, it's the planet that least likes the retrograde. Mars re-entering Cancer comes into your 3rd house. This could stir up emotions around communication, around siblings, around neighbors. Things could get a little bit more fractious at this time. Mars for you rules your 7th house and it also rules your 12th house, right? Unresolved issues with someone that's close to you could potentially bubble to the surface at this time. The 3rd house governs your mental outlook, so you might feel unusually sort of restless or agitated. Remember, Mars in the 3rd house can be harsh or challenging words at this time as well. And it may be, remember, Mars is a clearing energy. So it might be that there's a hard conversation that you've been waiting to have, or you felt like it's been brewing for some time, but you weren't really sure about what to do about it, or maybe you tried to ignore it. And now you're like, okay, I can't ignore this any longer. Something has to be said. Mars retrograde is going to invite you to re-examine how you express your anger and whether you're holding on to toxic thought patterns or communication habits, right? And so this could also show you where you are passive aggressive, where rather than just asking for what you want or need, you kind of go about it in like a really weird, sneaky way. And this isn't to say that you're a bad person. We all have a subconscious that will manipulate us and other people to get what we need if we're not conscious of those desires, right? So this could be a time to uncover and get rid of those. It's actually, you know, the 3rd house is communication and speaking. It's a great time to journal about your feelings, about what you want. It's also a great time for some kind of talking therapy as well. It's an ideal time for repairing relationships with siblings or neighbours. Be mindful of not rushing to confront them head on though. All right, it's a Mars retrograde. It's not going to get you what you want. You have to be honest and open and blunt, yes, but you also have to be tactful, right? This is where Mars becomes more of a strategist. Focus on decluttering your mental space, clearing your physical environment, reorganizing your workspace or clearing out your inbox. All of these things could be really good for you at this time. If you've been holding back feelings, Mars is going to push those, it's going to push you to address them. It's essentially to do so in a constructive manner. Right, so it's kind of like you will address this, but you're going to do it in the right way. Use this energy to heal old wounds around these things and regain some clarity. Got the Ace of Swords, literally clarity of mind, making decisions, choosing, right? Choosing to, making a decision, not only to be content, but also to heal, right? Choosing your healing. Oh gosh, look, and the Two of Cups, choosing to heal a relationship. Right, nice, simple, clear-cut message there. Choosing to heal a relationship, choosing to heal a partnership, personal, professional, or platonic. 7th house is indicated because Mars rules that for you. It also rules the 12th. This is a card of healing. This is a card of communication, right? The Ace of Swords is also swift action. I love this because it could also be a fresh start in a relationship of some sort as well, especially around or with a sibling. Right, because it's happening in your 3rd house, or neighbours if you've had challenging issues with them as well. As we come into the 12th of the month, we have a pretty big deal. The North Node, I lost my South Node, which should now be here in Virgo. I hoovered it up, unfortunately. So I'm so annoyed. So you're going to have to envision this, right? But the nodal shift activates your, it's going to be your 5th house and your 11th house. This is a big deal. We haven't had this for around 18 years. The last nodal axis in this was the North Node in Virgo, the South Node in Pisces. That was 2013/14. Prior to that, the last time that we had this with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo, this was 2007-ish. This nodal shift activates your 5th and your 11th house axis. It's calling you to balance your personal joy and creative pursuits with your role out there in the wider world. It's going to see you with the North Node in Pisces in your 11th. You're being asked to focus on your hopes, your dreams, and your community connections, the things that are going to push you out into the world, the desires and dreams that you have for the highest aspiration of what your life could be. Remember, the North Node pulls things in and the South Node excretes things out. New friendships, new benefactors, new dreams, new goals, new visions for the future are all making themselves known to and available to you over the next 18 months. This is a time really for you to align yourself with people and causes that resonate with your spirit, right? This is in Pisces, it's a spiritual sign. You might find yourself dreaming bigger and stepping into a more visionary sort of role, especially within your social circles. So this could be really exciting. Meanwhile, the South Node in that 5th house, it's asking you to let go of perfectionism in your creative endeavors and pursuits, or the pressure to sort of always be on, right? Let go of that. It's asking you to let go of old creations that just haven't worked, right? Like, I'm guilty of this as well, right? I sit here and I'm going to be totally transparent so that you don't feel like I'm here bashing you. I'm just going to tell you straight up. There are so many things in my life in Radiant Reality that I've created and I've been like, but this is such a good idea. And it's like, have you made it work yet? It's about 12 months on, mate. Why are you still pouring time, energy and money into this? And I'm like, okay, I'm a bit precious about this. Like, just fucking let it go. Is it helping you? Is it making money? Is it being supportive? Is it even out there in the world? No, then let it go, right? Move on. You will find something else. This is what you're being asked to really consider, right? The other thing as well is sometimes getting started with what you've got instead of waiting for it to be this perfect finished product. This is a time to release any guilt or self-sacrifice that's tied to your romantic relationships, your creative projects, or even parenting. Like if you've got kids, because the 5th house is your children, this is a time to let go of any guilt or overly self-sacrificing that you're doing for them, right? It's like this one thing I had to encourage my sister, God love her, and I said to her, you got to stop this helicopter parenting, right? You're stopping giving them the chance to solve problems on their own. And I'm not saying, leave your 3-year-old out in a field to fend for themselves, right? But if your kid is like, I don't know, I mean, my he's going to be 7 this year. Let him figure some stuff out on his own, right? He's starting to come into that space where he's going to need to navigate the world. Kids are resilient, and again, I'm not saying give them more than they can handle. What I'm saying is take your foot off the pedal. Don't always be there to fix everything for them, and just see how much they can handle on their own, right? This is a chance for you to let some of that go. You're learning that joy doesn't have to come with strings attached. That's what the South Node in the 5th is trying to show you. You're detoxing old patterns of overthinking, hypercriticism, in these areas that will really help you embrace a more flowing and inspired sort of approach to your own life. So, for this, you have, that goes there, that goes there, that goes there. So I have to take straight from the top. You've got the 3 of Cups, bring the joy back, right? You've got the Magician card and lead the way with it. And then the Temperance card. This could be a really profound time where new friendship circles, new connections come in that show you how to reclaim your personal power and show you how to align with the greatest vision for your future. This could be a time where you become a lot more daring and a lot more bold in your creative endeavors and ideas. And it could also be a time where you start to understand that your unique voice has something really special to share with the world. I love this for you. I think it's going to be fantastic. All right. So for your lunations, we've got on the 13th of the month, you'll have the Cancer full moon in your 3rd house. Now this full moon is going to pack a wallop. It's in your 3rd house of communications, right? So the moon loves to be in the 3rd house. She'll also be in her own sign. So for you, this will be a powerful moon. It's that 3rd house of communications, conversations, siblings, your local environment. So this could be highlighting some kind of, it could be bringing some kind of healing energy into your world through communications. The moon is conjunct Mars. It's in a sextile to Uranus. And then it will be in a trine to the North Node and to Neptune. So there's a lot of energy in this moon, right? You might find yourself feeling a little bit more agitated to finally say something that's been sitting on your heart. Neptune and the North Node in your 11th of friendships, they're lending your support. So it could be friends, maybe even spiritual friends that you've got, or that there's a spiritual edge to this that's really pushing you to align your words with your actions and your higher ideals. There's a moment here for you to release some kind of toxic communication pattern, or to let go of relationships that no longer resonate, right? Where you kind of say to yourself, okay, yeah, this person's been a great friend up until now, but actually it's not going to help me anymore. You might see a culmination of a project in your local area, something related to writing, speaking, learning, or teaching. That Uranus energy in your sign, right, that's in Taurus, is pushing you to shake things up. Don't be afraid to break out of your usual routine or your thought patterns, and trust whatever irritation Mars is bringing up for you at this time, conjunct that moon, is giving you the fuel that you need to make a more sort of meaningful change in your life, all right? Especially on that daily or communicative level. And for this, you have, this is from the Human Design Oracle deck, the Gate 14 and Fantasy. Well, What is fantasy? Fiction, you know, fantasy and novel. This is effectively you imagining or dreaming your desires into reality. I would say that speaks definitely to that trine to the stuff that's happening in your 11th house. And then on the 29th of the month, we've got a new moon in the sign of Aquarius, which for you represents your 10th house of career. This new moon shines brightly in that 10th house, right at the top of your chart. It's really bringing a beautiful energy because it's trying to Jupiter in your 2nd house of money and resources. This could be an opportunity that brings a chance for you to financially get ahead in some way. It's a powerful moment for financial gains, especially whether this is through, it could be through a partnership or a collaboration. Jupiter for you rules your 11th because it rules Jupiter, Pisces, and it also rules your 8th house as well, right? So it's highlighting 2 financial axes for you actually, or 2 financial houses for you actually. So this could be really, really wonderful. It opens doors for support and progress, and the part of fortune being involved suggests blessings that can transform your financial world, and it comes through your career. Something that shows up for you. This could be an opportunity, it could be an offer, it could be maybe even a benefactor of some sort, or a friend gives you the information that you need to make something work for you. There's potentially a change of perspective with this new moon that comes in. It's asking you to really think about your self-worth as well, right? Especially because Jupiter in the 2nd house in a trine to that new moon. What about you is so valuable that you deserve to be compensated for it dearly? All right, like this is asking you to really be open to that because something's going to reveal it to you. Remember, it is a new moon, so it's just a fresh start energy at this moment in time. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Oh, I almost forgot your card. You got the gate 50 and responsibility. Sometimes, so I say this a lot to my clients who are in a personal year 6. Because it's a year of responsibility and service. Sometimes the greatest sense of responsibility and service that we have to the world is to make our own lives better, because the better we are, the better we can show up for others. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up and if you're glad to see these back. Take care, and I'll see you soon.